Hanamura seems to be the staple map of map 3 of Group B at least, and your question about overtime there, I don't know if we're going to skip to that 5th map overtime in this one, because Bazooka Puppiez, for all it's worth, are rolling away with this one. There has been some slight contention from Copenhagen Flames. They're by no means out of this fight, but Bazooka Puppiez, they're showing up today. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Me too, and I'll be the first one to hold my hands up and say at the start of today I looked at this and thought, right, against Mosaic, a very weak side, let's be honest, in weeks 1 and 2. They got a 3-2, just scraped by a victory at the very end and lost 4-0 last week. A very, very harsh loss for them, it felt like. But today, they have definitely stepped up and showed we are still here to fight, still here to show what we are all about. We'll set to get those names swapped over for you very shortly. They are, of course, currently showing on the wrong teams. However, Darnier, we were speaking about his Genji on the desk and saying, are we going to see that? I was literally just about to say, are we going to see something like an Ana potentially come out? Because let's not forget, that is Eagle Gaming strat 100% of the time on this map. They are always looking to boost Nico, get him in the backline, and basically clear out. It's something we might see them try and employ because it's a very, very good idea to put all your eggs into the basket of the player who is doing well. And so far today, both Darnier and Nesh are both doing incredibly well. Let's
not take away from the DPS duo of Bazooka Puppiez. Naga has been fantastic on those previous rounds. We talked about it on the analyst desk. Jaws and Harry were singing in praise. Odd picks to pick that Widowmaker on the point A defense of Hollywood, but it still worked out for them. Naga still doing fantastic work. And he's had some decent Genji plays as well. You can't take that away from him. But Poppy Fresh, still going to rely on old faithful Tracer. No reason to change that out. He's making a name for himself in the kill feed.
It's almost a concern I have with Poppy, is that realistically you're not going to see him swap onto much more than the Tracer, even on maps where it's not strictly favourable. You saw him play it for the majority of Hollywood, you see it playing probably for most of this map as well. You're lucky the Tracer is highly a meta at the minute, but I have concerns that when the meta changes or a Tracer receives any nerfs, what are we going to see coming out of him in things like Season 2 when we get to it? It could be a concern for the team.
Tracer's going nowhere, my friend. Face of
Not
Overwatch
anytime
League.
soon.
Face it again. Keep him healthy, Jeff. Don't touch my Tracer. But we're going to jump onto the offense. Full dive yet again from Bazooka Puppiez, going straight into the back line of Copenhagen Flames. If they can just find their way through this gate. And Meza, he's been holding it through. They've sent Poppy Fresh as a scout. He's drawn a lot of attention for himself. That deviation might be enough for Bazooka Puppiez to sneak through here. But Meta, he doesn't want enough in that room. He needs to get out of there and get with his team. But they're going to try and box them in, keep them confined as they head for the high ground, and maybe try and give themselves a little bit more movement as they move towards the point itself.
Yeah, it looked a bit shady for Flames there. I thought they'd get caught out when they first came downstairs. Now on the upground, we're going to see the Puppies engage onto them and try and fight them off this high ground.
Well, there's Darnier shutting down Poppy straight away. Naga going to answer with the Meza. Meta on the back line, using that defense matrix. Aid a lot of the damage coming out. Now it's a war of divas. A little bit of Mortal Kombat coming out with the robots. And they're being shot down by the lightning as Darnier just going to clean through and clean up after his teammates as he finds Heiko. Dashes back to the point. It's defensive hold from Copenhagen Flames going strong. Sleep dart, take a nap, and here's a knife to the back for good measure as well. Coming out from Darnier. He pushes Marine Lord into the center, backs out, knows that deflect isn't going to last so long as Denia, with that Pollitt grenade, finally kills Poppy Fresh. Nesh shuts down Naga. Here's the Dragon Blade. Don't know if it's needed, but it's going to feel good for Darnier as he gets 1 kill, not the second, because Tridd, he'd rather fall to his death than get cut in half.
I agree, that was a very strange Dragon Blade when you've got both of the supports standing there pretty much exclusively on their own. The chances of you losing someone unless you do something ridiculous are incredibly low. You probably could have had what you had there with 4 or 5 members hanging around. I think they had 4 left. They lost 2 in the whole fight. That would have been more than enough to clean up the supports and get yourself some ult charge. Instead, you're expending an ult which could have been crucial in winning another fight.
Well, you're not going to have Blade available for this next fight at the moment, so Poppy Fresh going to run in there. Self-destruct on a choke point to keep everyone away. Transcendence going to bring some new life to the fight as Meta finds Chubbs. Meza onto Naga. Now they're chasing down Tridd. They're going to leave that one to Poppy Fresh, I believe. So they're going to leave it to Nesh. As Darnier's going to run through. Nano-boosted Diva running in. Not necessarily needed because Heiko ultimately going to kill himself.
A few wasted ults coming out of Poppy so far. I'm a little concerned that they're expending a little bit too much. Again, we spoke about that Nano Blade combo being the big one they were looking for when things look a bit dire. They've burnt both of those ults in the last couple of fights almost needlessly, it feels at times.
Flames are guilty of doing that as well. We saw it on that defensive hold. It was Darnier wasting that Blade. So a little bit of apprehension coming on for this team. So we've now got a Dragon Blade from Naga. Going to jump onto the back line, cutting through them. Poppy Fresh going to find Forsaken. It's Naga. Going to jump onto the point yet again. They're keeping him away, but it is Copenhagen Flames who've got control of the point at the moment. It's Darnier going to cut through a couple of people as Poppy Fresh finds Nesh. Not enough kills coming out for them. Chubbs going to try and bring it back in favor and keep control of this point for Copenhagen Flames on the offense. Poppy Fresh still there. Naga incredibly low. No support at the moment. Chubbs going to pummel that mech. Hopefully going to bend the metal with his iron fist as Naga cuts through Meta. Finish it off, Forsaken onto Chubbs. Naga again onto Denia. This guy is unstoppable on the Genji, and it's enough to give Bazooka Puppiez, sorry, Copenhagen Flames, the point itself. I'm getting baited by the overlay as well.
Nice little trick for you.
Yeah.
Down here, above the name.
Bottom left.
Got it. That's the one, mate. Stay at the bottom left of your screen and you are pretty much all good. It's a good way of telling if someone is alive or dead as well. However, Flames take that first point. It did take them a while, to be fair, a good 4 or 5 pushes to really make things work out for them. So well held by the Puppies. And now, as expected, we see them swapping over, going onto the Soldier. Going to try and get that high ground, go for the big combo that we are used to seeing from these guys. You get the boost coming down from the Mercy onto the Soldier with the ultimate. Everyone dies and you win the point, or that's how the theory is supposed to go. Of course, defenders will always try and mix things up to keep you guessing.
No ball debating. The UI is going to match up perfectly of how it is.
They listen to you, mate. They ignore me.
They listen to me. They ignore you, mate. I'm the voice of God when it comes to this. Jubs and Poppy Flesh finding 2 kills to kick things off. Transcendence dashing across, having a nice little descent onto the point as Naga takes out Danya. He's on that backline position we see all the time coming out.
Really good stuff from Flames so far with a good push in as well, holding this point down. They've managed to get themselves a half cap down. That first point is onside. Puppy's now finally starting to come back in for the fight. Yeah,
Transcendence going to lead the charge back onto the point. They're fighting over the bridge. Meta takes out Heiko without that mech, so he's very vulnerable to just getting attacked by everyone. Can't really get onto the point there, Chubbs. I know you tried to jump over the lantern, but you're going to set yourself on fire if you stay there for too long. Biotic Grenade, shut down the healing. Discord Orb, going to give him some own healing of his own by using the Primal Race to just increase his HP pool. He finds Danye, Goomba stomps Forsaken, and keeps himself on the payload as the rest of the team looking to find an entrance to chase up and follow with him. 2-1 of bodies on the point at the moment, and Meta trying to find his own angle coming in. Danye with the pulse bomb onto Poppy Fresh. They're trying to still get through, and the Valkyrie being popped by Tridd. Nanoblade onto Danye. Cuts through the mech. No more defense matrix. Wants to cut through D.Va as well. Finds her as the Transcendence comes out to keep the fight going on.
Danye with the Great Blade cutting the way through there. They're still trying to fight their way into the point, but the respawns are so quick here on the second point of Hanamura. However, they step off the point and give it away.
With no tanks to jump in there, they were really hoping they would have Meta to get on there, or Meza to get on the point so the supports could stay in a safety net.
Well, Meza was literally right there, ready to jump on the point, but left it just a couple of seconds, or even a couple of nanoseconds, a little bit too late, and they sacrificed the point in what should have been a strong spot. They had 4 members stood on the side there, ready to jump back on point when the time was right. Sadly for them, that time was over in overtime that they were waiting to get into, but no one was on the point. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication from the Puppies will give away the 2 points to Flames with a pretty healthy 3-minute time bank as well.
Well, we know that Copenhagen Flames are going to have another chance at offense if Bazooka Puppiez can fall complete here. That's for granted, but Bazooka Puppiez, they still need to do that. They need to break through the defense from Copenhagen Flames. Interesting to see what they will bring out for their defensive option and allow the Puppies to go on the offense.
Danye. That's basically what I'm expecting to the run here, whether he switches over to the Pharah if the Genji doesn't pay off. If it doesn't pay off, I'll be incredibly surprised because his Genji has been incredible today.
Are you calling Bazooka Puppiez a one-trick team? Would you just rely on Danye at this point? Because lots of people who are watching would be inclined to believe with you at this point.
At this point, I think it's pretty fair to say it's not to write Nesh off, but let's not forget previous weeks it's been all about his Widowmaker, and I fully expect on the next map, whether it's Junkertown or Dorado, we will see Nesh pick that up and start to shine. But the last few maps, it's been all about Danye on this Genji. I imagine he spent some good time with the coach going through this because in previous weeks, we barely saw it. It was entirely the Pharah show for him. And it's definitely added a new angle to the Puppy side, and I was concerned coming into this week again that it was more of a write-off. First week was more of a luck thing against a very downbeaten Mosaic team, but today they're showing up and saying it wasn't a one-off. We can compete with teams like the Flames, who I thought in previous weeks looked very strong, are definitely being made to look a little bit more fragile by the Puppies.
Well, Tridd, the only variation is from him in terms of team compositions, as he's going to go for the Ana instead of that Mercy. And Denia, he's going to stay on the Lucio with Zenyatta, so they're looking to try and brute force this one with a little bit of speed and tempo to their game. When you're playing dive, that's exactly what you want from the Puppies, and we know how they like to scrap.
They absolutely do. None of those boosted high ground strats that we've been seeing previously, especially from Eagle Gaming. Clearly, Flames still yet to catch up on that strategy. They're going once again, though, for that nano boost onto Naga once he has the Dragon Blade available. But here comes the straight dive into the back.
Boosted strats, or are they simply boosted? Let's find out as they dive onto the back line. Heiko takes out Denia straight away. Finds Meza as well, but it's Danye onto the support line of Copenhagen Flames to try and cut out their resources. As Danye is going to fall down immediately after that. Meta and Nesh get themselves some kills. Bazooka Puppiez starting to roll over the kill feed. You can see Poppy Fresh still putting up some resistance. Gonna get tapped down eventually, but he's still keeping himself alive. Deflect coming out from Naga. Going to find himself another angle to get onto the point. But Bazooka Puppiez, they're starting to entrench themselves. It's going to get very dangerous for the Flames.
Trying to touch the point there to keep that first point from disappearing. However, They are going to catch the first, or it's a half now. Great boop as well. However, the wall climb will, of course, keep him alive for now, and Nesh brings him down.
Nesh probably saw that wall climb thinking, right, I'm going to take my time here to gun you down. Poppy Fresh onto Denia, Heiko onto Danye. And now they're still trying to level the playing field a little bit more. Nesh so close to that pulse bomb. Needs to find a good target. Hopefully it won't get eaten by Diva, as we keep seeing today. Dashes back out after a little bit of attention. Now he's running for his life as Heiko gets that slap with the metal arm and takes him out.
Very, very patient play from Flames, holding this side where they're now backing away to in the corner. Didn't really want to contest the point until they were back at full strength, but once the members returned, they were happy to go in and contest this out. Of course, don't want to surrender that point this quickly. Let's not forget last round, it only took about 3 minutes to be able to break through, so it was a solid defense then. They want to try and replicate that here.
Double DPS ultimates available for Bazooka Puppies, and Marine Lord's about to get a Transcendence that could shut down a lot of options. Won't be the Pulse Bomb. We're looking to the Divas to do that instead. Danye up in the air, deflecting mid-air. Has a Dragon Blade in his pocket now, and the ultimates are coming up for Copenhagen Flames on his defense. Bazooka Puppies, exact same thing happening. This could get messy.
It's all about that kind of crazy six-man stack. We see a team's been going through it. Try and get all your ultimates online and then push and hope for the best.
The stick came out, but there was nothing on the kill feed. Not enough as the self-destruct chokes everyone out of the point. Danye cuts through Heiko while this is going on. He's trying to find a backline, but they're all in the Transcendence. There's nothing for him to do. Now he's got to get back with his team, but he's being forced even further away by the Winston. He's got a little bit more mobility. But here comes a blade from Naga. Try and cut someone down. 2 kills, Forsaken and Danye. That should be enough for them as Meza takes out Naga immediately afterwards. Chubb's still on the point, riding down the lightning, but he hasn't got the support there that he needs, so Meza's going to roll straight through it. Dredro, last person standing. Bazooka Puppies capture the point.
Takes about 3 minutes once again, just about 30 seconds quicker than what we saw from the Flames on their attack, and they managed to hold on to the majority of their ults. Would have been very easy there to just go, guys, throw the kitchen sink at this one, use all those ults, make sure we get the point, but quite controlled, discipline once again, making sure they've got these for this second push. They've definitely got a big advantage coming into this one. You're looking at the sound barrier on the other side as the only reasonable ult you've got for a big defense. On the other side for the Puppies, there are almost 4 available to them, including those 2 big tank ultimates.
Primal Rage, great for stalling. Self-destruct, great for zoning. What can they do with the tools in their arsenal as they jump up to the high ground? Sound barrier already being used by Dredro. Going to be a while until they get another support ultimate, but they're able to do wonders with it. They're hiding around the corner for that self-destruct. Nesh gets the D-Mech onto Heiko. And Naga going to cut through Meza, take him down as Meta with the micro missiles finds Heiko. As Poppy Fresh going to shut down Danye as well. Dashing through the point. Naga found Mete. They can't deny it. He's on the other side of the choke point. Can't get the kill live. Oh, he gets the headshot as he flies down to his death. He's going to die anyway, but give some more ult charge over to my man Naga.
Why not? Because they need these on side right now. Ult-wise, they haven't got a whole ton. Dredro actually swapping off the Lucio onto the Ana. Again, emulating Eagle Gaming, it feels in some cases. The second time they've gone to try and do this on this map, and you can see why. When you've got 2 big Genji players, you want to put as much resource into them as you can. And what better resource to give someone than a nano boost?
In theory, and mostly in practice, a nano-boosted Genji should be an un-nano-boosted Genji. It depends on where their target's going to be. I don't imagine they're going to be clashing swords at any point rather than going for each other's backlines. So what's going to be more effective for them?
I think in this case where it's a very scrappy game, a lot of the fights going back and forth, that could be the small edge that you get with that nano blade. Even being able to get one final hit onto a tank and bring them lower, that's the big one. But already the count was coming through there. Almost got the 3rd point, but not quite.
Managed to get themselves a tasty little bit of capture. But Copenhagen Flames eventually going to roll them afterwards. So close to getting that 3rd of the pie, but there's a quick answer from Copenhagen Flames to jump down and try and contest with what was going on.
That's probably just as frustrating as leaving someone at 1 HP as a Tracer dashes away around the corner and you're like, are you kidding me? In this case, you got it stuck at the top of your screen for a good few seconds, reminding you, look how close you were. If only you were a step quicker, you would have that first point and have a pretty good advantage coming into this one. Now the advantage is pretty evened out between both teams, though 3 ults available for Flames. Naga's still holding onto that blade, wants to make sure he gets maximum return on investment out of it.
If Bazooka Puppies do cap this, they are going to be at a deficit for time back at this point, so they're going to have to work especially hard to make sure they give themselves enough time if they want to extend this to another offensive round. Naga sitting on that blade, he's hitting the Transcendence. The Biotic Grenade going to shut down the healing onto Meta. Wasn't necessary because he had no Transcendence. They're dashing after the self-destruct. And Naga going to get taken out as well as Poppy Fresh. Huge misplay from Copenhagen Flames to follow that one through. Danye gets the Biotic Grenade. Shurikens through the wall. This round surely is going over to Copenhagen Flames. Sorry, Bazooka Puppies as they shut down Copenhagen Flames.
The point being contested once again. They're trying to literally throw everything at the point here. Naga has returned with his own blade. Gets dropped by Danye once again.
And Denia even going to get on the kill feed himself with a kill onto Poppy Fresh. Can't quite through the Lucio. Here's May coming out. She's going to freeze, but I never freeze, Dez. And they're going to jump on, curl herself into the wall, find her in a tight space, hopefully do some work, but it's not enough. The stall is coming out from Copenhagen Flames. They're going to try and throw everything. Naga even going over to the McCree, hopefully gets a flashbang, shut down the DPS. Poppy Fresh with the pulse bomb onto Meza. And they're still going to roll around with this pulse bomb to nothing. Going to recall, getting frozen up, dashes away to try and negate it. So close to getting the cap, contested at the last second. Here comes the Sombra. She was hoping to stealth, but they spotted her out right away. Gun her down and she comes out of it. And Bazooka Puppiez are going to extend Hanamura even further.
Both teams managed to complete, but it's slightly in favor of the Flames here with that 1 minute advantage they've got on side, but a good scrap, and one of those times where you start worrying for the aggressing side. If something like that lasts longer than about 20 seconds, the respawns start coming through, the stall comes out like the May, but they dealt with it quite sensibly. Controlled, discipline once again, but still with a minute less.
I don't know what Naga and Poppy Fresh were doing. They saw the self-destruct come up from the D.Va, and they dashed after it.
I think
into the air.
The idea for Naga was to chase after, kill the D.Va if she comes out of mech, get the reset, and then dash back away to safety so you're in cover. But completely failed the kill, so a bit of a risk to take at a crucial time like that, especially when Drido has just dropped the nano boost on you.
I was going to say that, the nano boost, the extra resource being put into that as well, so you're missing 2 ultimates, because I believe Naga was going to pop the Dragon Blade as well, and you'd lose both your DPS and a crucial nano boost that maybe could have been thrown onto a tank to stall out a little bit longer before they just have to basically throw whatever they can at the point to stall it out as long as they can. There is a 1 minute 10-second difference between them, roughly 14 seconds if you want to be specific. Copenhagen Flames have the time bank advantage, but they made so many mistakes in that last round. Well, not so many. Quality of mistakes was higher than the quantity.
I'm not 100% sure who you pin the blame on in that final play as well, because Drido, seeing him go after the D.Va, it's probably a case of you go, well, you don't really need my boost right now, do you? Like, you can kill her as you are. Bit of a mistake by all parties concerned, and realistically, if Flames had not made that mistake, that probably would have been a point they could have held out for a little bit longer. Worst case scenario, they get another minute or so advantage, but they're giving it away. That's in the past now. Now we've got to see what Puppies can do with the limited time they've got.
Nesh leading the charge, going through to that point. They love to scat out that room and allow the team to follow up afterwards, but Chubbs and Heiko doing a better job of stalling them out of the gate this time around. They're going to back off, despite losing nobody, so they want to take another attempt at this. When time is so finite, you have to make your pushes count, and that's exactly what Bazooka Puppies are doing. They're going to go into the face of the tank lineup, immediately dash on. Look as everyone piles onto the point. Naga gets a kill onto Meza to kick things off. As Nesh even more conservative because he knows they're starting to lose bodies. So there's that reactive play to the finite amount of time they have left. They have to respawn and get themselves reset very quickly.
They maybe get one more good attempt at this. It depends if they want to go for the strat that worked out so well last time, was pushing round to the side and then pushing down from above. Here they just keep on trying to brute force their way through the middle. That didn't work for them last time. Why keep on trying to do it now?
Well, I think they're going to go for it again, Des. I don't think they're going to mix it up when they got this finite time. 30 seconds. Nesh getting onto the pack point. You can see Denny leading the charge there with the Lucio. Naga still cutting down Meza yet again, and Chubbs finds Danye, so it's gone south for Bazooka Puppies for a second time. Meza gets the D-Mech, Forsaken's going to finish that one off. We're still on board with Nesh. He's got a pulse bomb available. He knows D.Va's not on the board. Now would be the time to use it. He's just got to find the right target. He's going to sit on the point. Chubbs gets a D-Mech and a kill. Goes straight there. Throws it out. Doesn't get a kill as it doesn't connect. Gonna be gunned down as Chubbs find Meta. There's a nano boosted Genji on the field. Naga finds Forsaken. Can't get a second one, but it's stalling out everyone else. There's one body on the point. They're going to use the Transcendence to keep the fight going. Overtime, whittles down. Nesh is there to play. Spoiler, but will get booped by the Heiko to shut him down. They're retreating back onto the point. They know they just have to keep him out. That's exactly what they've done. Dying with an ultimate in your pocket.
Kind of a hard one because he stood there deflecting. If he pulled the blade out, he was 100% dead anyway. So I can appreciate and respect dying when there with your ultimate. However, it's not the most ideal scenario. You wanted to use that aggressively a bit earlier on. Just took a bit too long to farm that ultimate up to be able to make effective use of it. Now Flames have got 3 minutes to get a third cap, and that's all they've got to do to win this one out.
I was being a little bit rough on them. It didn't matter he pulled out that blade. He's not going to 1v6.
I kind of baited you a bit, to be fair.
To be fair, he's not Shadow.
Sorry,
he's not going to be able to get that 5k going. So it's going to be
front page
difficult.
of Reddit. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
front page of Reddit already. They love themselves some Shadow, just like Jaws and Legday do. I was a little bit meh on the Shadow. I thought he played well. Didn't hard carry throughout the entire series, but Hanamura definitely did.
Sure, they wouldn't mind having a shadow on side right now, either of these two teams. Curious to see who chooses to mix things up, because both of these teams almost exclusively so far have gone for the full dive. We saw Naga bring out the Soldier earlier on their second point push. Ultimately had to change out and go for the Genji because it wasn't paying off for them. So it's almost like a stalemate where you kind of settle and go, right guys, let's be honest. Full dive is only what is working for us. It's working for you. Let's just play that and see what happens. It's all kind of taking that sort of theme at the minute. So you're putting a lot of resources into the Genjis. You're looking towards maybe picking up an Ana in exchange for something like the Lucio, just for the sole reason of you want that boost.
Similar compositions being run on the defense. Bazooka Puppiez, they're going to run it on the offense. Last attempt coming out, and looks like Naga going to go back to Old Faithful. Bring out the Farah and the Mercy.
Cast a curse. Swear down. You say all that stuff about full dive, and they think, no, we're not going to play full dive this time. Just to bait you out a little bit, we're going to pick this up. And I'm surprised we didn't see Danye do this earlier on. Again, having a great day on Genji, so not hugely surprised, but I did think we would at least see him pick it up once, and so far hasn't done that. Naga is now the guy who gets the time to shine. Well,
with the Farah, not many counters available, but Nesh still being able to deal damage onto the front line as Chubbs dives into his death. And it's very close for Danye. You're not wrong, Dez. Can't seal the deal. Copenhagen Flames, they've got the luxury of time that Bazooka Puppiez didn't have, so they can be a little bit more conservative, really think out what they're going to do, and allow Naga to try and get a pick before they commit to anything.
It's all about trying to get an opening, or at least get that ultimate online so they can push in and make good use of it. They've got to be very wary if he goes to that ult at any point that Denia is lurking around with that sleep dart. He's also nearly got his own ultimate online, as has Danye, so that combo they've been looking for is not too far off coming online.
Nesh shutting down the front line yet again. Chubbs goes down. Heiko gets demeked. What are you going to push through if you don't have your tanks? Dredro going to bring Chubbs back in. Meta seals the deal, takes Heiko out while he's out of the mech. Naga, he can pepper rockets for days if he wants, but it's not gaining it's not gaining Copenhagen Flames any ground.
Tough push, because they're just constantly trying, like you say, to breach something open here. But the problem with having, of course, one of your healers in the sky pocketing onto a Farah is you've only got the one on the ground. And if Puppies push forward with their dive and just trying to aggress one of the tanks, chances are they can bring them down. Last time round, they got both tanks. So double or nothing, really. Well, in this case, it was double.
They managed to get through the gate at the moment, but they need to commit and find more ground. Biotic Grenade should shut down the healing. There's a nano boost being put onto Meza, so they're changing up. That lightning surges through him, out his Tesla cannon, and into the enemy team to hopefully get himself a couple more kills. Bubble will come out, block any shots, blocks the pulse bomb as well. Very nice by Meza. Now he's using the Primal Rage. Nesh has been picking up kills while this is going on. Naga probably gets on the board with that barrage, only finding Meta outside of the Mac. That's not enough from your crucial ultimate you've been waiting for all game.
Feels like bodies on the point is what they're really lacking right now, and they're at serious risk of getting staggered if they can pick off the two stragglers here. Got to get themselves away, but Denia is taking pot shots on the Ana. Unfortunately, no one goes down. Dredro has that Valkyrie to play with. Naga's ult, not really giving them too much return, to be honest with you. They'll be looking towards the Trans, and of course, the Valkyrie coming online. They can push in to make this work. They've also got Heiko's ultimate for zone denial.
They've only got 30 seconds left, as they need to do something quickly. Marine Lord gets a pick onto Danye. That's one of the picks they've been looking for. Taking out self-destruct into the back line. Finds no one. There's an isolated Ana. Denia going to jump into the Transcendence, but that can only last for so long. Forsaken, he's isolated. Naga, he's seeing Robot at the moment. He wants to take him out. Halfway to victory for Copenhagen Flames. Naga finally gets that Denia who's looking for. Self-destructing away. You need to move quickly, otherwise you will go down. Everyone scatters the point. Second kill for Naga coming out. Heiko, Chubbs, they're getting all the kills. They've actually done it. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Danye. Cut through Heiko. Won't find a second one as a recall comes out. Marine Lord will shut him down. Overtime tickles down. Copenhagen Flames take a second map of this series.
We were so close to having the second draw of EU contenders, but it's just not to be. Clearly, Flames were quite desperate for that map win, find themselves 2-1. This is going more towards the sort of scoreline I expected. 3-1 was sort of what I had a feeling of going towards. Maybe a 4-0 if I was being kind of unkind to them. Puppies still showing they've got what it takes, though. Danye having some really good plays too, and it took a good 3.5 minutes of Flames to make that into a victory for themselves. So well played by the Puppies, fighting well. Flames have just got a little bit more sharpness to them.
Well, I was a little bit concerned about the Farah pickup from Danye, but he pulled through in the end, and that's really what counts. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to bring you the final map, or what should be the final map of this series. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Europe. We're in the what could be the final game of this series, providing that Bazooka Puppies don't come out with a second win here. And looking at the maps we've had usually, if you're looking at the stats, we're probably going to end up on Dorado. But we'll touch on Game 3 before we jump to that conclusion.
Yeah, Game 3, half-half. Bit scrappy between both of the teams, to be honest with you. What a surprise, by the way, Dorado. We might not even touch on it because you can talk more about Hanamura this way. That final point, a bit of an interesting switch coming out for the Pharah. Wasn't hyper effective to begin with. Lots of focus onto Denia on the Ana. And to be fair to Denia, did pretty well.
You're falling into the trap now.
Mate, you're going to catch me out so much of this one. Denia, I've got to say, though, kind of a guy who's regarded coming in and we're like, okay, it's a switch from mono. Is it better? Is it worse? Played pretty well on the Ana, so some kudos to him as well for delivering. However, Dorado is the final map, and this is the one I've been looking forward to, Tridd. We've been saying for a long time, War of the Widows. It's been our theme over the last few weeks. We've got two excellent Widow players in Nesh and Naga.
It's going to be fantastic if they can find the sight lines onto it, but it's really circumstantial. I mean, Pharah could still come out here. Both these guys are playing it, and we've seen that sometimes the dynamic is that you have a Pharah using the terrain appropriately to dodge around what the Widowmaker can do. So I'm expecting to see that more than I am expecting to see that War of the Widows.
I'm pretty sure we saw that actually come out in week 1 when it was CIS Hope facing off against, I forget their opponents, but it was CIS Hope's opponents who were basically playing the Pharah and hugging the bell tower here in the yard. So even though there was on the other side, I think it was Kenzie picked up the Widowmaker, he could not find any shots onto that Pharah because she was just playing so defensively. But the fact that they had all that explosiveness, of course, with the rockets, meant no one could be able to walk through the archway without taking a ton of damage.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Des, it looks like we are going to get that War of the Widows. Hey, always going to bring that one out when Naga's around. But no, it looks like they're probably going to run with that Widow, have that War, satisfy you. I know you've been looking forward to it. Looking at Bazooka Puppies, they're going to run the Widow, they're going to run the Tracer combination, still sticking with a consistent tank line. They can really capitalize on that synergy that Legday harped on about.
This is the one context where I think when you have a Widow on side, it is so crucial to have a Tracer on side too. Because in these wars that you see the two of them having, if your Tracer can get into the backline and harass their Widow, stop them taking shots at your Widow, of course. If Widow gets hit, she gets taken out of sight range. That's a free opportunity for your own Widow to be able to take a shot at the enemy Widow and win that war that we keep on speaking about. It's not a 1 versus 1 war. It's a team game. It's Overwatch. It's 6 versus 6. It's all about playing as a unit. And when the DPS synergize like that, that's when you get results.
Being a Widow is so much easier when you have a solid tank line to create that space for you, guarantee your safety, and have those supports to keep you nice and healthy. Maybe if you're lucky enough to get a Mercy, get a tasty little damage boost out of it as well. They're going to get onto the payload straight away. Copenhagen Flames running an identical composition to Bazooka Puppy, so who can play this better and who can make advantage of the offensive and defensive innate advantages you get from the map.
Trying to go for that little snipe again. There we go. First scoring is opened up by Naga from Flames. That res should come through pretty soon, but they're just very, very conscious that if you go for the res, the Mercy might be in trouble. Almost catches her out as well, but the res does come through successfully.
Very risky, and Nesh, he's going to pay back Denia. I knew you should have resed me, brother. He takes out Nesh, so he takes out Naga, and now Meza on the point, going to jump up to the high ground, try and contest. Keep Bazooka Puppies' defense still alive. And they've shut down Copenhagen Flames, so go next.
Go next. Very, very standard and stop response, I guess. They're shut down, so go next.
Yeah, if you're Copenhagen Flames, that's what you need to be doing, though. You need to have a quick response to it. Just like, right, guys, we're taken out. We've been taken out again. They're going to get a resurrection this time because it's safe for the Mercy to do so, and she has the area. There you go. Now going to come out. Takes a shot onto Poppy Fresh. Doesn't find it. Straight into the defense matrix this time. Not going to have it that time. Taking a shot. Clips Naga. It's not a headshot. It's not going to be fatal. It's straight to the torso. He's wearing body armor today.
Keep himself alive, so to speak, but Meza clearly is not, as Naga will bring him down. So this is a very, very static kind of stall coming out of both sides so far. Flames not really willing to push heavy and go for the big commit, whereas Puppies are holding them at bay with Nesh. However, he's gone low, almost gets stickies.
A bit of a scary bear coming out from Danye there. Sorry, no, Poppy Fresh, who went straight into the lens of the Widowmaker. Really going to make her get concerned with that one. So in for sight. Going to stop that from happening in future. Meta with the D-Mech onto Heiko. Danye still dancing around the tower, looking to find something. Resurrection coming out onto Poppy Fresh, so he's back again. Immediately gets focused by tanks and DPS. And Heiko out of the mech. They've now got to sense that blood in the water, and Danye going to whip it down.
I'm quite curious to know why Nesh didn't immediately jump up top. I think he was afraid of being picked off by Naga quite easily on, so he didn't want to sit on the archway, but now he's assumed the position. It's where you sit when you're playing on this defensive Widow, and with the point sat in the middle, there is no cover for the support or the tanks to hide behind. They've basically got to stroll through this gateway and be at risk of being peeked and taken down immediately by Nesh. There we go.
Perfect example. That wasn't a caster curse, that was a caster prophecy for you. Dreedro,
finally
don't spend that resurrection straight away to bring Naga back into the fray. Hopefully, he'll be a little bit more mindful next time when he pokes around that corner. Danye, gonna get that pulse bomb. Defense matrix is low. Perfect stick. Immediate disengage coming out from the Valkyrie to keep herself alive. Poppy Fresh, still running around. Finds Nesh. Finally, this measure goes on to Forsaken. Fight still going. No one's on the payload at the moment, so they're gonna fight around the backside of it. Trying to get away, but Chubbs will be gunned down and escape. Poppy Fresh throws a pulse bomb out. Gonna have a Guardian Angel to get to safety for Denia. So close to a Valkyrie of his own.
Oh,
Poppy Fresh
taken.
gonna get taken out by the Orbs of Destruction.
Now, called Destruction for a reason. They destroy heads, and apparently it's Tracers who are those pesky Tracers always in the backline trying to bring you down. Flames are having real trouble pushing onto this first point. We're 3/4 of the way through their attacking round, and they're even yet to really get over halfway through the marketplace.
45 seconds remaining for them. Finally, they shut down a resurrection. Danye goes hunting for Dreedro, so Naga gonna have to respawn like everybody else.
The analysts, and I think we were as well, both all quite questionable about Danye playing the Tracer. It isn't the strongest pick that we've seen coming out of him. So far, definitely doing work in the backline, though. You wouldn't maybe compare it to something like Puppiez, but he's definitely getting in there and making life hell for the Flames, who are still yet, once again, to push into market.
Well, Naga and Dreedro are going to change it up. They're going for the Genji and the Lucio this time around. So speed up the gameplay, go for the full dive, and hopefully something sticks. They've only got 15 seconds, so it's going to be one last attempt for them, because this distance isn't very far Bazooka Puppiez to match when it comes to their offense.
I think Nesh knows exactly what's coming. He's seen the full dive comp, so he's going to back off of that high ground, get more towards safety here towards the alleyway, and try and anticipate this dive that might come in. Depends whether or not they want to risk stepping off the point.
Well, overtime is already in play. They get off the payload now. It's all over for Copenhagen Flames offense. Fighting around the payload. Here comes the Transcendence to try and force out. Poppy goes down to Forsaken, so that dive not working out as planned for them right now as Danye gonna recall, get his health back. He went straight into Meta, so what do you expect? As Heiko, he's gonna throw his bomb right up into the air, gets Meza, takes that monkey out. Meta gonna answer with Chubb, so no more Winstons on the board. I don't think the resurrection is safe enough. Naga finally finds Nesh. Danye with the pulse bomb onto Heiko will take him out once he's out of his mech. Forsaken picking up another frag on the Zenyatta. What a madman as Danye is dancing around this tower, the watering hole, to try and find another kill. No one's on the point. So looky what happens here. We got Bazooka Puppiez gearing up to take a second win this series.
Prophecy earlier on reverts straight back into a curse, because Danye, I say, okay, maybe not as strong as Poppy. Well, on that first point, you've got to say, in that final minute especially, looked a lot hotter. Getting in the backline once again, running rampant, even pulling back to defend his own Widow again in anticipation of that dive. We saw that in the last series today when we were talking about these Tracers who aren't trying to dive and play flanker on Hollywood. What they're actually doing is sitting a bit further back in their defensive line and keeping them alive.
You got the three stages of the Tracer. You got the divers, you got the tank killers, and you got the defenders. And it's a nice mixture of teams playing different styles of Tracer to their own benefit, and it really meshes in with what they're trying to do compositionally-wise.
Really meshes in with what they're trying to do, because Nesh now on the Widow attack round is going to be doing exactly the same thing he did last time. Very curious to see if Naga tries to match him here by picking the Widow up himself and feels that the defensive standpoint has a bit of a stronger suit to it. Could have looked towards the Pharah, but I think realistically that was the sort of thing that we only see in week one, where one of the teams felt, yeah, we can make this work, we practiced this. Why not? You know Naga is a very proficient Widow. We've seen him on this map multiple times before, and he takes heads off all day long.
Well, he's hoping that he's not going to have to change to that Genji or something else, because he's on a defensive position this time for Copenhagen Flames. A lot safer for Dreedro to give him those resurrections and support. And it's easier to hold an angle rather than peek on an angle. So should have an advantage for Naga, but Nesh, he's going to have to do exactly what he did last time, win out those Widow battles. And it's going to be slightly harder for him because he's on the offense.
Always a tough one. On the defensive side, you always tend to take it in your favor, and Naga is in a very difficult position where if he switches off it, they suddenly lose all of that zone control. And let's not lie about it. There is so much zone control that you can have available to you on this first point. Very easy to keep your Widowmaker alive, make sure they can get those picks. Reses are generally quite safe on that high ground. I always keep saying it, but War of the Widows is quite literally taking place here, and I'm curious to see which one's going to come out on top in this round. Last time round, it was Nesh. Naga now needs to be the one to step up. Equally, Poppy has got to start matching Danye because he ran riot in that last round.
Well, this is a good test to see if the defensive position makes all the difference in the fight. If Nesh consistently still pops off, then we can just put it down to Nesh's ability here. Poppy Fresh Going to have to lose that forward position he had himself, retreat back into the marketplace. Now, without seeing anyone around, this is where it starts getting a little bit spooky for Nesh. He knows there's going to be a Widowmaker somewhere, just doesn't know where it's going to come from, so it's even more difficult to take these shots, not knowing where that opposing sniper is.
Yeah, not on the high ground is the answer. Actually quite low, just looking for his head just to peek up, but still not managing to find anything just yet. Naga, rightly so, trying to keep himself concealed, at least for the early part of it. Now they know where he is. Going to go back onto the high ground, go for the reset, hold down these angles. Almost gets dinged out, gets brought down by Nesh. There's that multiple threat we were talking about.
Need to get the headshot there because the legwork was done by Forsaken. This guy's been so good on Zenyatta, and I want him to continue playing it. Nesh get the poison grenade kill with Poppy Fresh after he does unfortunately take down that robot lord. And now Nesh, he's got infra sights. He knows exactly where all the angles are going to come from. Naga still staying on the Widowmaker, but it's coming up Bazooka Puppies. They're getting closer and closer to completing all the distance they need to for this map. They're fighting around the chokehold. Meta has the self-destruct in his pocket. Naga found Danye while this was going on, so he's not able to shut him down this time. Nesh kills Naga again. No more Widowmaker for you, but Tridd could possibly get the resurrection in if he's quick enough. Nesh still on the high ground. Naga comes back into the fight. A lot of attention being put onto him now, but he hasn't got the support he once had. Gonna have to dip around, but the rest of Bazooka Puppies are backed off, so Copenhagen Flames not out of this yet.
Very, very close to losing it out, but the Puppies have got 2.5 minutes to play with here, and let's not forget, if Puppies win this round out, we go through to Oasis, their second showdown in that beautiful city. Puppies will be feeling the anticipation going into that one. Not 100% sure what's going on with Naga today, because I recall very distinctly his plays on Junkertown on Widow were absolutely huge. Today, been relatively quiet. Not sure where he is. Maybe he's to wake up and find himself in these final 2 minutes. This could be the real crucial time to give his team that 3-1 and save it from going to that deathmatch.
Naga playing so far back at the moment. Forsaken has the help. Sorry, Nesh has the help of Forsaken. They're playing with a duo in case that Tracer comes around, looking to really irritate them and put him off his game. Self-destruct, going into the air, just have to tuck around the corner, no one to be found. Naga still getting Danye, Poppy Fresh onto Nesh, so there's no more Widowmaker, no more Tracer for Copenhagen, sorry, for Bazooka Puppies. Keep getting mixed up with that today, I really need to fix that one out. But Meta, he's going to pull the defense matrix out, going to lose his mechs. The Copenhagen Flames still going strong. We said this should be easier for Bazooka Puppies, but Copenhagen Flames, they're putting up one hell of a defense.
This is like when you get rolled 3-0 in competitive and go, right, GG, go next, we lose, and then you actually come undone, and well, but they come undone, and you do undo to them what they did to you. You just go 3-0 real quick as well, and everyone's like, how on earth did that ever happen? We got completely rolled in our defensive round. It's feeling the exact reverse now, where the defense was that strong last time round. It's incredibly strong now. Maybe not to the stage of Puppies, but Puppies' attack is a bit floundering, not really seeing too much out of them. However, in that final minute, they are going to echo exactly what Flames did. Danye is going on to the Genji.
Well, the moral of the story from what you were saying there, Des, is never give up. And Bazooka Puppies, they haven't done that yet. Transcendence, going to keep them all alive. They've run out of it now, so it's Copenhagen's time to come out with that Transcendence. Naga taking out Nesh, Poppy Fresh on the Denya. They lost half their team already. They're going to have to go for a final push because they've only got 30 seconds on the clock.
They get one go, and the ults are stacking up slightly for Flames here. Heiko's going to have his in this next fight. We've already got the 2 ults, and especially the Valkyrie. That could be a big one. Keeping Tridd alive is going to be a big deal. Looking straight away to Puppies, though, they've got the self-destruct online. That's a good zone denial tool if they want to use it, just to go for the engage, but they've got to act soon. They've got 12 seconds left, Tridd.
Have they got enough to capitalize on that area they're going to create for themselves? I'm not so certain. 8 seconds on the clock. Final push for Bazooka Puppies, and Poppy Fresh has already shut it down. There's the zoning ultimate as well. Forsaken with a kill onto Marine Lord. No one's on the point, so Copenhagen Flames are going to take the series 3-1.
So close to the Puppies once again, almost bringing it through to Oasis, but today it's not quite to be the same story as against Mosaic and Flames. 3-1, 4-0, we're kind of looking around that mark. 3-1 is how it ends. Maybe a bit too close for these guys, bit of an off day for some members on the team. Shows with the engages on Hollywood, Naga a bit on the Widow. Still, enough quality was there to win this one out, and a match well played.
Well, I'm disappointed we don't get to see Oasis just like you, Des. I would have liked to have seen a stark difference from what we saw yesterday, where it's 4-0 stomps. But 3-1, pretty good storyline for Copenhagen Flames, and it's going to help him with the seedings moving into the next week. We're going to check in with our analysts to see what they thought of that series.